ハロー、ハロー YouTube ということで。I finished talking with my English teacher, and she was really helpful, help me improve my English. Yeah, I just finished ACAM. Yeah, so ACAM and yeah, ACAM TOEIC. TOEIC was okay, and I think, but ACAM was difficult. I think ACAM was difficult. Especially listening and writing. Listening, yeah, I was able to, yeah, I couldn't catch what they are saying. So it's, as she said, test taking skills. Yeah. So even though I was successfully able to catch the main idea of the text, the wording, the 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 question, the each options seems very difficult, confusing to choose. So yeah, that was my case. And writing is it's about social welfare. In, so it's difficult to write 3 supporting sentences on social welfare. Yeah. So yeah, I need to practice more. And yeah, listening. This one is kind of I read out. This is an interview with Aisha Chopra, who runs 2 vintage record shops. Interviewer: Thanks for tuning in. Today we are talking to Aisha Chopra. Welcome, Aisha. Thanks for having me. Could you tell us a little about what you do? This is 20, 2022, 2022, second time again. 2022. 2022. Yeah. Could you tell us a little about what you do? Sure, I own and manage 2 shops that deal in vintage vinyl records and music merchandise, mainly from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. I opened my first shop just over 15 years ago and my second one 5 years ago. So I took a memo. It was so fast. So it was hard to write down all of them, but I was successfully wrote some of them. Like, so she is the owner of 2 record shop which sells old vintage records, and the first store was opened 15 years ago, and the second one was opened 5 years ago. So that's the main idea. Okay. And second paragraph. So I break down. Interesting. How did you get into this kind of work? My parents would always play music in the house, so I kind of grew up listening to old bands and musicians like Janis Joplin, The Doors, The Beatles, stuff like that. Plus, my dad loved to collect old stuff, which he kept all over the house. T-shirts from famous concerts, posters of rock stars, books, magazines, and of course, thousands of old records. Then, when I was around 8 or 9 years old, he would take me to shows and fairs where all of this stuff was on sale. I started using my pocket money to buy things, and before I knew it, my collection had grown substantially. So much so, I was running out of space to keep it all. Yeah. So second paragraph, the listening, the voice is saying that parents she was influenced by her parents. They love to music, they love to listen to music, so she was grown up listening to all band music, Janis Joplin, Beatles, something like that. So it was quite natural for her to be interested in music. And and one day, her father took her to the record stores, and no, not record stores, not record stores. Yeah, shows and fairs. Yeah, that was a hard point. So she was taken to shows and fairs by her father, and she used her pocket money to buy some records, buy some things. Yeah, and now and she her collection of records grow so substantially. Yeah, so now so it was difficult for her to keep them all because the storage is not enough. Yeah, and okay, back to the script. What made you decide that you should start selling things yourself? It just kind of happened. Actually, I wanted to teach, and that's what I started to do. That's why my friends took me to the Then one of my friends took me to the flea market where people were selling all kinds of used goods. Surprisingly, though, there weren't many people selling music. My collection of records was mainly in storage at the time. So I thought I'd get some of it sent to me and make a little money on the side. I was selling everything I put on sale, and before I knew it, I was making hundreds of dollars just from a few markets every month. From there, I started getting a bit more serious about it as a source of income. Mm. So you were saying that, uh, yeah, yeah, you explained about how got into s- to starting your business. And yeah, one day your friend took you to the flea market where people sell old stuff, but not many people sell the old band music. So one day you sold some music because most of your collection was in storage. So in storage means it's a new word. In storage means you have something in your storage. Like on the street, you've seen the storage rental service. So if you have too many stuff in your house, you go there to put your things in. So it's a rental storage. And so basically your collection was in storage, so you brought them and to sell them, and then it was good. People, so you found the business is quite good. So thinking about you are began to think about selling music or selling a collection as a source of income, main source of income. Okay, back to the text. And led to opening your shops? Yeah, kind of. One of my regular customers from the market became my husband. And to cut a long story short, his parents used to run a small furniture store, but they closed it because they wanted to retire. My husband didn't want to take over the furniture store, so he suggested I use it to sell records and other things. His parents agreed, so I was very lucky to get that opportunity. Okay, so you are talking about how you opened your own shop. Uh, so the main character is your husband. So actually, one of your customers on your free market from your free market is was became your husband. and also his parents owned a furniture store, but they wanted to retire. They wanted to retire, so your husband suggested you took over the store to do your own business, to do her business. So she was lucky to get this opportunity to have her own shops. Where it used to be a furniture shop. Yeah, and back to text. It sounds like it was a big success. Not at first. Business was slow, and I was still working as a teacher for about a year, so that we could afford to pay our rent. I'd teach during the week, then run to the shop on weekends. I was still going to fairs and spending countless hours combining the internet for things to resell. I focused on rare goods, so slowly but surely, word got out that my shop was the only place in town to get some very hard to find items. For example, I had records signed by people like David Bowie, Bob Dylan, and John Lennon. When business really picked up, I thought about moving to a bigger space, but the shop had a lot of sentimental value because my husband's parents had owned it. Instead, I decided to open a second shop, which is also doing great. Okay, so you are saying, the interviewer asked you, it sounds a big success, but you said no, it wasn't at first. Slowly at first. So basically, you were still teaching, and on the weekday, but on the weekends, you are running the shop, and um, and why your store has become so popular because you have your own original collection of music, selection music. Like you have a very rare collection, like records signed by famous artists such as Bob Dylan, David Bowie. So yeah, so like one of the uh, one in, it's a very precious, it's a very rare shop in the town. So and also I couldn't catch this one. I was still going to fairs and spending countless hours combine the internet for things to resell. I was spending countless hours combining the internet for things to resell. I focus on rare goods. So she was looking for the internet. She was looking for the rare goods on the internet. So she said she spent long hours to find those items. And and gradually she thought about having a new shops, moving to a new shops, but a larger shops, she said bigger space. But the original shop has a lot of sentimental value, so she decided to buy a second shop, and which was doing great, is doing great. Okay, back to text. Well, Aisha, that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much for coming in, and we wish you continued success. Thank you. I had a great time. Question 26. How did Aisha first become interested in selling vintage records and merchandise? And the question. Number 1, she noticed that people at fairs mostly bought records from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. No. Number 2, she wanted to earn some pocket money by selling things she was not using. 2 is correct. She was inspired by her father making a lot of money selling brokers at market. No. No, for she could not find a satisfactory teaching job and wanted to make money quickly. No. So 2 is correct. So number 27, 1, the shop was conveniently located near where the fairs were held. No. 2, the extra income from a second shop would allow her to quit teaching. No. 3, customers wanted her to open a shop that specialized in signed record. No. 4, she wanted a larger shop but was hesitant to sell her original shop. Is correct. So it was hard to write down all of these information and all of the information, and also it's hard to maintain all the information in mind in one listening. So basically try to understand in one listening, and the memory has to be good enough to be able to select one appropriate answer from 4 choices. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for listening. That's all. ありがとうございました。Thank you. ありがとうございます。